So guys, we've talked a lot about kind of where different teams fall in the Big 12 this year. And so I'll phrase this question like this. I play fantasy sports. Chad, are you still there, buddy? I think there you go.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, stupid spam.
I play fantasy sports, and a lot of times when you're preparing for a fantasy draft, you break guys down into tiers, right? Mm-hmm. These guys that you'll take at this spot, and then you have another tier down and another tier down. So could we do that with the conference standings to a certain extent? I mean, are there tiers of Big 12 teams, both men and women?
Well, I'll jump in on the men on this first, and I'll address the women as well after. But it's funny, the beginning of the conference, if you were to say project the tiers, like you said, for your fantasy team, you just said Iowa State, Oklahoma, had a shot at being top tier. And at this point, I mean, Iowa State's kind of played its way onto the bubble, I think. Probably a tournament team. Oklahoma's gone the other direction, but I mean, I don't think there's any question that Kansas, Baylor, and Texas Tech are, separated themselves in a big way.
Yeah. Johnny?
Right. Yeah. I looked at the standings this morning. Like you said, Kansas, Baylor, Tech, they're up there. Then in the middle, you got Texas, TCU, and Iowa State. And then you kind of have the rest of them. And I think those top six will make it. I don't think those last four will make the tournament. And, to me, Oklahoma's really probably dropped the most. And probably TCU has improved the most, late in the year. So, but yeah, there's definitely a tier system there now.
When the Big 12 sheds itself of, those sorry Sooners and Longhorns, I mean, just imagine the tiers then with Cincy and Houston and some programs that have done well in basketball in recent years.
Well, exactly. If Houston were in there this year, I think their quad one record is like 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
And yet their net ranking is still really high right now. So they would be a real interesting team to have in the Big 12 mix this year.
Yeah.
And John, I think I saw a stat where Baylor leads the country in quad one wins.
Yeah, I believe it's 12 now.
Wow, it's impressive.
That's almost half their wins.
Yeah, Baylor, Tech, and Kansas, they're going to be 1, 2, or 3 seeds. I mean, and really, 1 or 2 sounds about right. I mean, they're all playing well. So how about the women?
Okay, so I think it breaks down equally well, although there's maybe a little bit more of a gray area with Kansas State. Where are they now? I mean, they're a little bit like Oklahoma, and they faded from where they were in the first, maybe third of conference. But Baylor is starting to look like maybe a potential 1 seed. If they finish out with the Big 12 tournament championship, especially, and one of those ACC teams knocks each other off or loses early in the ACC tournament, although I kind of think conference tournaments aren't considered real valuable by the committee. But then, you got Baylor, Iowa State, Oklahoma, and Texas still there, kind of in the top tier on the women's side. And I think all 4 of those are clearly tournament teams, and then throw in Kansas as a 5th one. Wait, is that right? That's 5, right? Am I counting correctly?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kansas State still has a chance maybe to get in there. Right now, so Kansas State's net ranking is 35. They are currently 18-10. So yeah, they probably got a pretty good chance. I'm not sure who their last couple of games are against, although I don't think they're against either Iowa State or Baylor. So getting to 20 wins, with on the weekend and then the first round of the tournament could really help them. And that's 6 Big 12 tournament teams. And that's I mean, a lot more than the women have had lately.
Here's what helps K-State in terms of getting in: Ayoka Lee, having that player on your team. I think the committee likes to have big name
Star power.
players. Yeah, I mean, it's the same on the men. We saw it last year. Wasn't Oklahoma State last year on the men's side kind of a bubble team? They got in because of Cade Cunningham. I mean, people wanted to see what Cade Cunningham would do.
Now, while we're talking about the human element to the selection committee, let's talk about something that piqued my interest last night. Brice, I think you saw this. The NCAA reveal had Baylor going to Wichita, right? As the number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They had LSU going to Spokane as the number 2 seed. Now, can't we find a way to make those different seeds and so they can be in the same region? Because I don't think America wants to wait to the Final Four to see Kim Mulkey and Baylor. I mean, we don't want to take that chance, right?
So I was at Baylor Ballpark recently and talking with Mac Rhodes, just kind of in the hallway, and we were talking about different things. And at one point, we started talking about the Baylor women and the job that Nikki was doing with them, and so forth and so on. And I actually told Mac, I said, I may be the only one. I doubt that I'm the only one, but I really, really want to see Baylor and LSU in the same bracket. And Mac, maybe I'm ratting him out here, but he said, yeah, I'd like to see that too. So I think it's a thing, let's create some drama. This is the kind of exciting stuff that people tune in for.
It would
Like
be
you
the most
said,
viewed
Chad,
game
you
in the
mentioned
women's
the
basketball
ratings
tournament.
thing. What'd you
Yeah,
say,
John, what were you saying?
Yeah, it'd be the most viewed game in the women's tournament for
Yeah.
sure.
Easily.
It'd definitely be the most viewed game in the tournament in McLennan County.
Yeah, and I guess some Baylor fans would probably have to show their cards a little bit. Are you a Baylor fan or are you a Kim fan?
There you go.
So anyway,